An envious person is the worst kind of person because they will kill you, they will betray you into the hands of your enemy. To see you in an uncomfortable position because they hate you not because you're bad, but they hate you for being who and what you are because they want to be that themselves. Come on. And they're not happy with you being that. They want that for themselves and they want to take it from you. And if they can't take it from you, they will kill you so that you cannot exhibit that quality.
In the years following the Confederate War, the only successful effort at such colonization was the movement of between 15,000 and 20,000 former slaves from the United States to Liberia. Even this project, however, failed to attract more than a comparative handful of American Asiatics. In the 1920s, Marcus Garvey stirred up an active but short-lived interest in Asiatic colonization. And they're telling you that if you go from America over to that part of Africa, that you're colonizing. And you know why? Because they know that you're bound to the Americas by heritage. You was there before Europeans. But you say you want to go to that part of Africa, but when they gave you the chance, you didn't want to do it. The movement never did gain any continuing support from the mass of American Asiatics. Anytime someone's talking about doing something, it sounds good. But then you have someone that comes along and really wants to do it, there's no support. They just want to talk about it and make it sound good. But when it comes time, nah. Actually, Asiatics lack the desire for effective migration and colonization, contends William H. Thomas, author of The American Asiatic and himself an Asiatic. He points to the general failure of Asiatics to take advantage of the homesteading opportunities offered in the West. Noble Ali said this was your land though, so I wouldn't take any agreement of no homestead. However, we do know that there was Moorish homesteads that E. Turner L. used, so he gave away the birthright for some crumbs, saying that the Asiatic, despite occasional roamings, is content only in aggregated racial habitations of fixed locality and defined bounds because you're used to being told what to do. And my bloodline gave a perfect example of this. People that don't have their own compass within. They're just a big piece of metal that's on the ship, but there has to be a compass that leads all of this metal. And you're the metal because you don't have your own compass, but you have to be guided or this ship is going to sink. The intense nationalism of Asiatic Muslims may be a different story, however, and these black supremacists conceivably may have the determination to create a homeland. At St. Louis about 10 days ago, Elijah Muhammad, born Elijah Poole of Georgia, called upon the government to give the Asiatic people a nice place to live and help them to get started. Whether the virgin lands of Alaska can be called a nice place to live is open to question, but at least Uncle Sam stands ready to help homesteaders get started there if they have the hardihood to tackle the job. So they may even gave Nation of Islam Alaska, because remember when it pulled out of the U.S., they might have went ahead and sold that bitch. Noble Ali said, if you're going to make your track, don't do it in the winter. You know what I'm saying? But we know there's a lot of stuff that has to do with Alaska too, man. So if they did get it, maybe they knew how to get up into the earth or whatever, man. You never know. But I think they probably sold it if they do. And as far as Liberia, didn't they get finance from Liberia too? They said Asiatics got sent there, and JT, the bigger figure, is the illegitimate son of Farrakhan. And he has Filmo Africa over there. Filmo Africa. And Filmo in Khalifa is known as the Crescent. The black Muslim demand for a homeland represents another of their departures for the general attitude of most American Asiatics. This militant group of Asiatic nationalists, but they are not nationalists because they don't have a nationality. They say that they're a nation of Islam, but that's in a generic sense. You can't be a nationalist without a nationality. That's why they're asking for land, because they have no name that ties them to a land except for the Niger River, which is black. Establishment of a black nation without a nation. True indeed. Preach black supremacy and avoidance of contact with white people. They are segregationists. Hold up. They asked the European to give them land and to help them get started. So they're already abandoning their land, whether it was over in so-called Africa on that side or so-called America over here. It's all yours, but if you pick one piece of land, you lose it all. They clamor for the establishment of a black nation within a nation. Why couldn't they just let Noble Drew Ali be Noble Drew Ali and everything go the way it needed to be? But I'm not tripping though, because Allah's the best of planners. He delays and allows time to be delayed so these people can stack up their sins, man. So when the time comes for that scale, man, they're going to be flattened by the scale. Why can't they see that they're sick in the mind? They're ill-minded, man. They have a disease in the mind. They're a monster that is not awakened. They have amnesia. Why can't they see that, man? When you have a cough or a sneeze or your throat hurts, you know something's wrong. Noble Drew Ali said worms are going to be falling out of you. And I mean, he did speak of chlorella, but I'm talking about worms are falling out of these Asiatics because they've been dead so long, because death brings maggots and worms. So yeah, man, worms and maggots are falling out of y'all from your ears and your mouth and your nose and your asshole because you dead. And the European is no better, brothers and sisters. Man, our people is in bad shape. People was lined around the block wanting to speak to Noble Drew Ali to heal them. And I don't think it was all because of their health as far as their flesh. It was their spirit. Because, oh, if I could just sit with Noble Drew Ali for 10, 20 minutes, man. You all had the prophet right down the street. And you still walk by and just, man, I can't believe it. You had him right down the street, brothers and sisters. And y'all still was doing madness then. But yeah, you see it getting worse and worse. That's why I feel like every 10 years, like right now, something that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I feel like that was a totally nother plane. I done died and I'm in heaven right now. But I mean, we keep on changing planes, although we're in this bubble. You know what I'm saying? We're all like growing inside of a mother's womb. All of us. We're in mother's womb. And the way that we form, it better be perfected, because when you're born where you're going, you may be what they call handicapped, autism, or whatever, because we got problems to solve.
There was people before he came that belonged to the most Americans by Noble Drew Ali.
Trying to keep my prophet down in the grave, show you silver and gold, but that don't glow in the shade. Elijah Poole Bay, a liar then to today, told his people they was black and led them astray. Far parted his hair and said he was Ali. I hang them from their bow ties over top the maze. They trying to keep their brothers stuck in, what can I say? Ain't no Maybach gonna save you on a lost day. The fire harden you and crack you down like red clay. Buster use a buster for even trying to play. Ricky Rose, I'll shave the beard off your face. Disgrace to the Muslims, I'll drop you like some bass. Causing schisms with your words, I come and smack the taste out your mouth with the scimitar and beat the case. I challenge the jurisdiction of the tribunal. Don't worry, Grand Sheik, I got them. They can't hold this 36720. Islam, dropping ethereal bombs. Get your hand out my pocket, same old song. No way back music.